Every 11 seconds, a senior is rushed to the ER because of a fall, and in most cases it wasn't the fall that was fatal. It was the slow, silent balance issues that were ignored for years. If you've been feeling a little unsteady lately, it's not just age. It's a warning. Today we're exposing 7 hidden balance mistakes that are quietly putting seniors at risk. Mistakes that can be fixed, starting right now. Every year, over 3 million seniors in the U.S. end up in the emergency room because of a fall. But what most people don't realize is that these falls don't just happen. They're not random. They're not just because of age. They're the final result of slow, silent shifts in the body that build up over years. And once you understand what's really going on, you can take control of it, before it takes control of you. It starts with the basics. After the age of 50, something subtle happens inside your body. Your reaction time slows, your muscle fibers shrink, and the tiny stabilizing muscles that once helped you balance on curbs, stairs, or uneven ground start fading away. Not because you're inactive, but because no one ever told you they needed specific training. Walking isn't enough. Staying active isn't enough. If you're not deliberately working your balance system, it's quietly shutting down. There's a term used in medicine, proprioception. It's your body's built-in GPS. It tells you where you are in space, keeps you upright when you shift your weight, and helps your feet land where you intend them to. As we age, proprioception dulls, especially in the feet and ankles. That's why so many seniors say they feel like they just lost balance out of nowhere. But it wasn't nowhere. It was years of subtle nerve changes that were never trained to adapt. The second issue is muscle loss, particularly in the hips, glutes, and thighs. These are your body's power centers for standing, climbing stairs, catching yourself from falling. But after 60, without resistance training, you start losing up to 1% of muscle mass every year. Even worse, strength declines even faster, up to 3% a year. That means by the time you hit your 70s or 80s, you've lost nearly half of your functional strength, often without even realizing it. And then comes the fear factor. After the first fall, or even just a close call, many seniors begin to move less. They avoid stairs. They stop going for walks. They hold on to walls. It makes sense emotionally, but biologically, it's the worst response. Because the less you move, the more balance you lose. The more cautious you become, the more the nervous system downregulates your balance reflexes. It becomes a feedback loop. Less motion leads to less function, and less function leads to greater fall risk. What's worse is that most seniors think they're doing the right thing. They go for walks. They move around the house. But walking doesn't train balance. It uses it. And if your balance system is already weak, walking can even become dangerous. The truth is this: falls don't come out of nowhere. They come from 7 common mistakes that most seniors don't even know they're making. Mistakes that weaken balance, slow reaction time, and increase fall risk every single day. But here's the good news. Every one of these mistakes is fixable, and it starts with awareness. Let's look at the first one. It's the most common advice seniors get. Just keep walking. Doctors say it, friends say it. Health magazines praise it like a magic cure-all. And yes, walking is important. It keeps you mobile. It strengthens the heart. It supports circulation. But if you think walking alone is enough to preserve your balance as you age, that's the first mistake. Here's why walking is misleading. When you walk, your body follows a very predictable rhythmic pattern. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Your nervous system isn't being challenged. It's on autopilot. There are no sudden shifts, no balance tests, no moments where your body has to react quickly or adjust to an unpredictable change. That means the balance system, the brain-muscle coordination that prevents falls, barely gets used. Think about it like this. If you wanted to improve your vision, would you read the same word over and over again? Of course not. You'd expose yourself to different letters, fonts, and distances. Balance is the same. Repetition without challenge doesn't make it stronger. It makes it dull. That's what's happening with walking. In fact, research shows that older adults who rely solely on walking for activity still experience declines in balance, proprioception, and fall recovery. Why? Because walking doesn't activate the key muscles and neural pathways responsible for stabilizing you in moments of sudden change, like when you misstep off a curb, twist on an uneven surface, or get up from a low chair too quickly. The parts of the body that need targeted activation, your glutes, core, hip stabilizers, and ankles, aren't being challenged in a straight-line walking routine. And the brain isn't being trained to recalibrate balance through shifting planes of motion or reactive feedback. Now here's the dangerous part. Walking gives the illusion of doing just enough. It builds confidence, but not capacity. So when a real challenge arises, when a foot slips or a rug folds under you, the nervous system doesn't have the reflexes trained to respond. And that's when the fall happens. What should you do instead? It doesn't mean you stop walking. It means you stop treating it like a complete strategy. Think of walking as your baseline, your mobility maintenance. But your balance training needs to include specific exercises that force your body to stabilize, react, and correct itself. That could be as simple as standing on one leg for 30 seconds, or practicing heel-to-toe walking with your eyes closed, or using a wobble board for 5 minutes a day. These movements challenge the body in ways walking never will. In clinical trials, seniors who added just 10 minutes of targeted balance drills 3 times per week saw dramatic improvements in fall risk, gait speed, and confidence. And that's the real outcome we're chasing. Not just staying on your feet, but feeling sure and strong in every step you take. So yes, keep walking, but don't stop there. Walking is the warm-up. Balance training is the upgrade. And the sooner you make that shift, the more stable, strong, and independent you'll stay. Most seniors focus on the knees and hips when they think about fall prevention. That makes sense. They're big joints, and they hurt the most when something goes wrong. They absorb impact, stabilize your posture, and make micro-adjustments to keep you upright. But after the age of 60, ankle strength and flexibility tend to decline. And for most people, that decline goes completely unnoticed until the damage is already done. When your ankles are weak or stiff, 2 major problems arise. First, your body's ability to sense position, called proprioception, is impaired. That means your brain gets slower or fuzzier information about where your foot actually is. Second, your ability to react quickly with a corrective step is reduced. Together, that's a recipe for disaster. Imagine stepping off a curb that's slightly lower than you expected. With strong mobile ankles, your body adjusts in milliseconds. You shift weight, regain posture, and walk on. But with stiff or weak ankles, your reaction time is slower. The muscles in your calves and feet can't absorb the shock. The balance correction comes too late. And that's how a stumble turns into a fall. Here's what the research says. Ankle strength and range of motion are among the strongest predictors of fall risk in older adults. One study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that seniors with poor ankle mobility were twice as likely to fall compared to those with good mobility, even if they were otherwise active and healthy. The real problem is that ankle health is rarely addressed. Most exercise programs skip it entirely. And most seniors don't even think about it until they're suddenly afraid to walk on gravel, or they hesitate at the edge of stairs. That hesitation isn't fear. It's a signal from the nervous system that your base of support is compromised. The good news? Ankles respond very quickly to targeted training. Unlike larger muscle groups, ankle stabilizers are small, fast-twitch fibers that can regain function in just a few weeks. Simple exercises like toe raises, heel walks, ankle circles, or standing on one leg while rolling your foot side to side can reignite those stabilizers. Another underrated tool is barefoot mobility. Shoes with too much padding or support can actually make ankles lazier over time. Practicing short, safe sessions barefoot on soft surfaces like carpet or grass can help reawaken the nerve endings and muscles that support balance. Just a few minutes a day is enough to start reactivating the foundation beneath your entire body. So don't let your ankles go silent. They're not just joints. They're your body's early warning system. And when they're strong, mobile, and awake, your chances of stumbling or falling drop dramatically. It's not about flexibility for its own sake. It's about building a smarter, faster, more stable response system. one that could save you from the next unexpected step. This one's big, because if there's one belief holding millions of seniors back from staying strong and steady, it's this: I'm too old for strength training. That single sentence, repeated often enough, becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it's dead wrong. The truth? Strength training after 60 isn't dangerous. Avoiding it is. By the time you hit 60, your body is already in a silent tug-of-war between growth and decline. If you're not actively sending signals to your muscles that they're needed, your body assumes they're not, and starts tearing them down. This is what's called anabolic resistance, a gradual weakening of your muscles' ability to respond to food and movement. And if you're not pushing back with resistance training, that loss accelerates. But let's be clear, strength training doesn't mean bench pressing your body weight or joining a bodybuilding gym. It means doing the kind of movements that challenge your muscles to contract against resistance, using your own body weight, light dumbbells, resistance bands, or even a sturdy chair. Studies show that seniors who engage in just 2 to 3 strength sessions per week experience significantly lower fall risk, better walking speed, stronger grip strength, and even improved cognitive performance. That's right. Lifting something heavy doesn't just protect your bones and joints. It protects your brain. And it's never too late to start. One of the most famous studies on older adults and resistance training involved nursing home residents with an average age of 87 years old. After just 8 weeks of leg strength training, they increased their strength by over 100%, many of them regaining the ability to climb stairs or rise from a chair unassisted. Think about that. People in their late 80s, rebuilding power and independence through basic strength movements. So why do so many seniors skip it? Fear, misunderstanding, old school beliefs that strength training is too intense or too risky. But ironically, the real risk is not training at all, because without strong legs, hips, and core muscles, your balance suffers. Your stride shortens, your reflexes slow, and even small slips can turn into catastrophic falls. Strength training works because it addresses the root of age-related decline: functional strength. That means being able to carry groceries, get up from a toilet, pick something up off the floor, or catch yourself when you're off balance. Every one of those actions requires strong glutes, quads, hamstrings, and core muscles. And every one of those muscles atrophies without regular stimulation. But here's the inspiring part. Your body doesn't care how old you are. Muscle fibers can grow at 65, 75, even 90 years old when given the right challenge. The human body is incredibly adaptable, even in later life. You just have to give it a reason. So if you've been skipping strength training because you thought it was too late or too risky, it's time to flip the script. It's not too late. It's the perfect time. Because what you do now decides how steady, strong, and independent you'll be not just this year, but 10 years from now. Your eyes aren't just windows to the world. They're anchors for your balance. And yet, most seniors don't realize that a subtle decline in vision could be the very thing throwing their stability off course. Here's how it works. Your balance system relies on 3 key inputs: the inner ear, your vestibular system, your proprioceptors, those tiny sensors in your joints and feet, and your eyes. Of the 3, vision is often the dominant player, especially as we age. Your brain uses visual information to determine where the body is in space, how far the ground is, and whether something is moving beneath you. But the moment your vision starts to fade, even slightly, your brain begins losing one of its most critical pieces of balance data. You may not notice it at first. Maybe the floor looks a little less steady in dim lighting. Maybe your depth perception feels off when you go down the stairs. These aren't just signs of getting older, they're red flags. Because as vision fades, your brain is forced to rely more heavily on systems that may already be weakened, like your proprioception or reflexes. The result? Slower reaction times, poorer foot placement, and a sharply higher risk of tripping or falling. In fact, studies have shown that older adults with uncorrected vision problems are more than twice as likely to experience a fall compared to those with healthy vision. And yet most seniors don't treat their eyes like part of the balance equation. They skip eye exams. They delay updating their glasses. Or worse, they wear old lenses that no longer provide accurate focus, distorting their view of steps, curbs, and doorways. There's also a nighttime risk. As we age, The pupils shrink and become less responsive to light. That means low light situations, like getting up at night to use the bathroom, can become dangerous territory. And here's the shocking part. A large number of falls happen at night, in familiar environments, because the brain is visually disoriented by the lack of light and detail. But vision isn't just about glasses. It's also about visual habits. Many people don't train their eyes to scan for obstacles or test their depth perception. They assume their vision will just keep up. But like balance, vision coordination can be trained. Simple exercises, like tracking a moving object with your eyes or practicing single-leg stands while shifting your gaze, can train your visual system to support balance more effectively. The first step, though, is to treat vision as a non-negotiable part of your fall prevention plan. Get annual eye exams, update your glasses, consider lens coatings that reduce glare, and if you struggle at night, consider motion-activated nightlights that illuminate hallways and bathrooms. Small upgrades, big impact. Your eyes are your balance command center. When they're clear and responsive, your brain gets better data, and better data means faster corrections, fewer stumbles, and a much safer path forward. Ignoring your vision isn't just a missed detail, it's a dangerous mistake. But the fix is simple, and it starts with seeing balance in a whole new light. Let's get real. Most seniors don't fall because they're doing something risky. They fall doing something ordinary. Getting up from a chair, turning too quickly in the kitchen, stepping out of bed. And behind these small moments, a dangerous habit hiding in plain sight. Too much sitting. The average senior spends 9 to 10 hours a day seated. It's understandable. The body tires more quickly, routines become slower, and rest becomes part of the rhythm. But the problem isn't just the sitting, it's what happens while you're sitting and how you get up after. Here's what no one tells you. Prolonged sitting weakens the very muscles you need to stand and move. Your glutes turn off, your core relaxes, your hips get tight, blood flow slows, proprioception dulls, and even your posture changes. Over time, your body adapts to the chair. And when it's time to rise, you're asking deconditioned muscles to suddenly perform a demanding task without warning. That's when balance fails. Even more dangerous is how people move after sitting. They push off with their arms. They lean too far forward. They use momentum instead of strength. And worst of all, they stand up without fully engaging their stabilizing muscles. That's when wobbly knees buckle. That's when backs strain. That's when you lose your footing before you even take a step. The technical term for this decline is sarcopenia of disuse, the loss of strength due to inactivity. It's one of the biggest drivers of falls in seniors, and the most deceptive part is you feel like you're doing fine. Until one day, you're not. But there's a powerful way to reverse this, and it doesn't require hours in a gym. It starts by changing your relationship with sitting. Instead of long stretches of inactivity, break your sitting into chunks. Every 30 minutes, stand up even for just 60 seconds. Walk to the kitchen. March in place. Do 5 sit-to-stands from the chair with good form. These small movement snacks reawaken the neuromuscular system and remind your brain how to coordinate movement. Even more importantly, retrain how you rise. Next time you get up from a chair, plant your feet flat, bring your chest tall, drive through your heels and rise using your legs, not your arms. This isn't just a strength drill, it's fall prevention in action. Some seniors benefit from placing a small rolled towel behind their lower back to encourage upright posture when seated. Others set phone reminders to stand and move each hour. These tiny environmental changes can create massive long-term protection. And here's the irony. The more you sit, the harder it gets to move safely. But the more you move, deliberately, correctly, the easier movement becomes. It's a feedback loop, and the loop is yours to control. So don't let the chair become your most dangerous piece of furniture. Movement isn't just a part of health. It's the signal that tells your body, I still need strength. I still need balance. I'm still in control. Most people think of the inner ear as just a hearing organ. But buried deep inside your ears is one of the most powerful balance systems in your entire body, the vestibular system. And if you're not actively training it, you're missing one of the biggest opportunities to prevent falls. So, what exactly is it? The vestibular system is a tiny network of fluid-filled canals and hair-like sensors inside your inner ear. It's designed to detect head movements, rotation, and shifts in position. In younger adults, this system works almost without us noticing. But after age 60, just like muscles and joints, the vestibular system starts to deteriorate. And here's the catch: it often does so silently. That's why many seniors begin to feel dizzy when turning quickly, getting out of bed, or looking up too fast. It's not always a heart problem or low blood pressure. Sometimes it's a vestibular weakness, a delay or error in the brain's ability to recalibrate the body's position in space, and that delay, that split-second hesitation, it's enough to trigger a fall. In fact, vestibular dysfunction is now believed to be a primary contributor to over 1/3 of falls in older adults, yet it rarely gets addressed. Most exercise plans focus on strength or mobility. Few people ever consider ear training as part of balance rehab. But the good news is, the vestibular system can be trained, and in many cases dramatically improved, through something called vestibular activation exercises. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as simple as standing still and slowly turning your head side to side, then up and down, while keeping your eyes fixed on a single point, or standing on one leg and moving your head while maintaining balance. These exercises challenge your brain to stabilize your body while your inner ear sends rapid signals about motion and position. Another powerful move: the gaze stabilization drill. Pick a spot on the wall. Keep your eyes locked on it. Now move your head left to right, then up and down, keeping your eyes on that spot the entire time. It's surprisingly hard, but over time it sharpens the vestibular system's ability to coordinate head motion with balance control. Start slow. If you feel dizzy, sit down and rest. But don't give up. The more you challenge this system, safely and consistently, the more responsive it becomes. And a responsive vestibular system is one of the most underrated secret weapons in lifelong balance. So don't forget about your ears. They're not just for hearing. They're for surviving motion, reacting to life, catching yourself before your body knows it's falling. And when they're trained, your balance becomes smarter, faster, and stronger, from the inside out. For far too many people, balance becomes a priority only after the damage is done. They trip once in the garden. They stumble getting out of the tub. They land in the hospital with a broken hip, shocked, scared, and wondering how it happened. But here's the truth. Falls don't come out of nowhere. They are the result of years, sometimes decades, of small silent declines in strength, stability, coordination, and awareness. And by the time the fall happens, it's often a sign that the system has already broken down. This is the seventh and final mistake: waiting for a fall to take balance seriously. And it's the most dangerous one of all, because when you wait, you give up your greatest advantage: prevention. You allow weakness, stiffness, and slow reflexes to creep in. You delay small habits that could have protected your independence. And sometimes, you never fully bounce back. Here's what most people don't realize. After age 65, a single fall, even if it's minor, doubles your risk of falling again. And after a serious fall, many seniors never regain the same level of mobility or confidence. They begin to move less. They fear walking alone. They withdraw from activities they once loved. That's not just a physical decline. It's an emotional one, a psychological one, and it can snowball fast. But it doesn't have to, because here's the empowering part of this story. Balance is trainable. Strength is rebuildable. Reflexes are reprogrammable. No matter your age, no matter your current ability, the body will respond when you start giving it the right inputs. It doesn't take hours a day. It doesn't require a personal trainer or fancy equipment. It starts with a decision to take your balance as seriously as you take your heart, your brain, or your blood pressure, because it is just as important. Balance is what allows you to catch yourself on a slippery sidewalk, to step into the shower without fear, to dance at your granddaughter's wedding, to get up, without help, when no one is around. That is freedom. That is power. And that is the result of choices you make before the fall ever happens. So don't wait for a scare. Don't wait for a fracture. Don't wait for someone to tell you you need help now. Start today, while your body still listens and your independence is still yours to protect. You've just uncovered the 7 most common balance mistakes seniors make. And now, you know exactly how to correct them. Not someday, not next year, now. Because falling doesn't have to be part of aging, but strength, steadiness, and confidence, those absolutely can be.